Okay, everybody, good morning to you once again. And of course, if you're just joining us for the very first time this morning, we thank you for making the effort and being with us here on your era, TT Radio, as we enter inside of the 11 o'clock hour on a Thursday. It's time for Exploring Buddhist Concepts. Of course, in between here, we are joined by none other than our host, Kasi himself. I thought he wasn't in today, but he is in today. So, Kasi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Yeah. No, well, I have to be in because this is the first time for Mariella Williams.
Mm-hmm.
She's part of the Buddhist Trinidad and Tobago executive, and she's coming on this morning. What her topic is, I don't want to give it away yet. I'm happy to see her inside the studio. You are ready, Marie? Mariella, are you ready? Well, I'm not hearing you. Why am I not hearing us, Sir Charles?
I'm not sure because she's not muted. Mariella, check on your computer and see if your microphone is muted on your computer itself. Because you're not muted by us here on this side. So check and see if on your computer itself.
Check the computer itself for your mic.
Yeah.
Your microphone.
Yeah, because it's not muted on our end here. So I don't know if there's check your volume, turn it up a little bit and see if it will unmute your microphone. I know some people on their laptops have that kind of issue. All right.
Why doesn't it up? You could say a few words so you know when.
Yeah. All right. Are you hearing us? Are you getting through now, Mariella? What did she say?
I'm getting the program on radio now.
Yeah. Maria, are you hearing us at all? Okay, at least you're hearing us. But for some reason, we are not hearing you. Can you check to see if there's a mute button on your computer? Most of them have a mute for your mic going out.
But we're not hearing you.
Yeah.
You have a unmute situation there. It's a mute or unmute in the studio.
Yeah.
Down below, you have a mute and an unmute. Are you? Which one are you in? The mute or the unmute?
Yeah. And I see you're trying to log in with another device also. So, but on the other device that you are trying to log in, you need to release accept your mic and camera on that next device. So come back out with that other device, and when it asks to accept or your microphone and camera, right? That is it. Right. So let me see if that one is a little better. Right. Yeah. So you need to come out of one. You need to come out of one now. The first one wasn't come out of it.
Okay, I'm gonna come out of one.
Right. I'll pick it out of that first one. Right. Okay. Are you hearing us a little better now, Maria?
Yes, I am. Are you
Okay.
hearing me?
We are hearing you perfect now. It's just that we're not seeing you now, but we're hearing you.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, we
Are you seeing me now?
Actually, no, I'm not seeing you. It's blank. But at least we are hearing you. But at least we are hearing you, so
not
that's
yet.
okay.
Okay. All right. Well, good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Cassie. And good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm happy
Beautiful.
to
Nice
be
to meet
here,
you
and I'm
once
sorry
again.
about that little technical glitch we just had.
Yes, yes. But it happens from time to time with everybody. So we're
Yes,
good.
we always do. Don't worry, Maria. Don't worry about it, Maria. We seen you now and we hearing you. Everything works out, by about 11:50, we get the
Yes, it
rest.
does. It does.
Yeah, so 11,
Okay. Well, this morning, my
now
topic is about
11:30 England
mindfulness.
time.
Yeah.
Every week is more or less the same thing.
Okay.
Before you go, just repeat that Mariella is like on the executive of the Trinidad and Tobago Buddhist Buddhist meaning the organization that runs the affairs of the Buddhist group, which is overall run by Ringu Tulku in the region, and of course the Dalai Lama internationally. And she has I hand over to you now to continue the good work. Yeah, go ahead, Maria.
Okay. Well, my topic this morning is about mindfulness. And I want to touch on 5 keys to help us be more mindful. So, some of you may or may not know that mindfulness is now trending everywhere. It's a topic that's trending almost everywhere. It's even a full fledged industry, we can call it, with lots of workshops and retreats, and you have apps, YouTube videos, and of course, a social media explosion on mindfulness. But what exactly is it? It is first and foremost an ancient Buddhist practice over 2,500 years ago when the Buddha lived and taught the art of meditation. Really and truly, it is the ability to stay 100% in the present moment. And that is when we remain curious, we remain open and accepting. It's also a non-secular practice. You don't have to have any specific faith or belief system to practice mindfulness. Another important part is that it's backed by compelling scientific evidence that informs us that the mind is, when it is present and focused, is a happy and peaceful mind. So in short, mindfulness is a mind and body practice. So how do we practice mindfulness? Is a universal capacity of being aware, staying aware in the moment, and we use our own natural intelligence, which requires a lot of diligent practice and discipline. It's not easy being able to stay mindful with all the different distractions that we have 24/7. Even our own thoughts go wild all the time, telling us what to do next, what to plan for, etc., etc. So we know that it requires a lot of discipline to stay mindful. So according to several writers in the Lion's Roar magazine that I've been recently reading, it's a quarterly magazine that explores Buddhist concepts. There are 5 key elements necessary to make mindfulness work for us. And what these concepts are, what these elements are. Well, I'll just list them to start with, right? So 1, mindfulness meditation. 2, insight. 3, ethics. 4, love and compassion. And 5, community. These are the 5 elements that help us better understand what mindfulness is about. We can call it like the foundation pillars. So I'll start with pillar number 1. And what does that look like? Here we begin to train our mind to change our life, right? It helps us to see clearly, to make choices grounded on our reality and respond with wisdom, right? As you know, there are lots of twists in our life, twists and turns all the time, based on our conditioning that we receive, based on what society tells us: get a good job, study hard, get a house, have a family, right? So we know that a lot of that goes on. What mindfulness does is helps us to slow down, question, and even assess this reality and remove the filters that we have, right? The biases, and that this helps us to shape our perception. Even, of course, rewriting the same script that we've been told, right? So there are there's an acronym with 3 letters that we can use for this mindful meditation that we have. The first one is intention, which is our personal vision of how we want to live. We want to live peacefully. We want to become a better person. And when we have that intention, this will help us to pay attention, right? Okay, so you have one, the first model is intention, the second one is attention, right? Our reaction to moment to moment experience, that is attention, right? The rise and fall of our breath, the sounds around us, the smells around us, what is in front of us right now, that is attention. And the third aspect of that model is also our attitude, right? That is the space of learning to meet difficult situations and be able to meet it with compassion, kindness, and curiosity. And being able to ask ourselves, what is this moment teaching me right now? Sometimes we find ourselves not questioning that very moment that we have. We just so much on that treadmill all the time. So now we go to the second pillar, which is second key, which is insight. And what does that look like? Insight is the power of seeing clearly, right? Our meditation practice focuses on techniques to stay calm and relax the mind through focusing on breath, right? And taking time to reflect and observe. So by using these powers of observation in our mindfulness meditation, we gain a deeper understanding of our true nature, what we call our Buddha nature, our inbuilt ability to be compassionate, to be generous, to be kind. Right? This is what we get when we meditate and we observe. Right? We also get to see how wild our minds are, our scattered selves, and how all of this impacts us, right? Also, we also see how the world is forever changing, moment to moment, things change, right? We're never in the same situation well, sometimes, of course, sometimes we may go through long periods of pain and, grief. You know how life goes. But it never lasts forever then. Things always change. So these are some of the things that we take in when we mindful, when we practice mindfulness meditation. So having this knowledge alone is what we call insight, and it helps to liberate us from our push to stay in the state of, oh, poor me, this is what is happening to me, my world, mine. It's forever the I that is always pulling at us. Whereas if we step back, we are able to approach life with much more insight. Now we go to the third pillar or the third key element, which is ethics and living our values. So what does that look like? The practice of knowing what's right and wrong and applying it in our daily lives. As I said before, sometimes with all the distraction going around us, we hardly able to step back sometimes. So, and these are some of the things that we need to consider as we examine our own ethics and our own values. Respecting cultural differences, knowing when we have enough and avoiding overconsumption, respecting life through non-violence in our words and our actions. And as we know, sometimes that's easier said than done, right? Yes. Also, the sense of responsibility to each other. Sometimes we feel that just taking care of our own little world and keeping the peace is all that matters. But in Buddhism, we learn that we have to take care of others in order to see a better world. So that sense of responsibility is what we also need. And then another important factor, and I'll talk more about it in a little while, is having self-compassion too. We are weaned, I always say, on achievement and going after certain things. And what happens in that process is that we don't forgive ourselves. We're so hard we have to make errors. We have to forgive ourselves and also forgive others, of course. So these are some of the key elements around that third pillar, which is ethics. The fourth pillar, love and compassion. What gives us meaning in our lives? Right? If we were to imagine ourselves, no one wants to, but if we were to imagine ourselves on our deathbed and asking that question, what has given me meaning in my life? Is it the things we've accumulated over the years? A house, a car, success, fame? Or is it the warmth of family, friends, connection with others, moments of kindness you received or gave? Is it a sense of accomplishment for doing good, building a legacy in your community? But these are hard questions we need to ask ourselves now, before we are on that deathbed. What gives us meaning in our lives? Right? And that leads us to the love and compassion that we need as we explore mindfulness meditation. A little note is that our human brain is hardwired for negativity, and that's a scientific fact, right? Our survival instincts from way back, our ancestors, where we focus on threats and problems. Right? And we now have to rewire our brains, constantly rewire it to see the positives. Right? We have to actually cultivate to stay open-hearted all the time, knowing, being curious, being open to what is the next move, what is the teaching moment. How we do that? First, with ourselves, as I was saying earlier, that self-compassion that we need, ability to love ourselves first, and then we could extend it to others, right? And then now going with others now, we don't want to be knocking down others. We're not good enough. They're not good enough. They're not strong enough. Should do better. We're always constantly on that treadmill of competition and comparison, right? And that holds us back from that love and compassion that we need to share. So with mindfulness training, that and the observation that we get, the insight that we get, we are able to also have that power of awareness, and that allows us to do this, right? Being able to walk in another man's shoes and not be so quick to judge as is. It seems as though that's one of our defaults, always being in that mode of um what another person is doing. And now we enter the fifth and final pillar, which is community. And what does this community mean? So I'll just say a little bit about that. Science confirms, and these are through longitudinal studies that they've done, that people who stay connected to others experience a greater sense of well-being, they are happier and healthier, right? We know that in some of the Eastern countries like Japan and China, that they have that great sense of community around them. These are studies that they have done. And those who are more socially active experience less cognitive decline. They experience it later than those who are not. Right? So these are some of the things that came out of those studies. So what does a strong community look like? It helps us to buffer from life's challenges, right? Whether it's finances, financial hole, whether it's illness, whether it's loss, some type of pain, right? This is what community helps us do, right? Gather around us. We have that network and that helps us. What does this community help us to do? It provides stimulation, right? The comfort and also the novelty, being able to hear other ideas, do other things with others, right? And finally, it gives us hope, especially in a divided world as we are witnessing right now. We have to force ourselves to come back to the simple things, come back to community gatherings and taking care of each other, right? So in essence, what mindfulness meditation does is it opens the door to seeing our interconnections, right? And it's a calm and relaxing practice as well. So just a review on those 5 keys. 1, mindfulness meditation. 2, insight. 3, ethics. 4, love and compassion. And 5, community. These are the pillars of mindfulness meditation that helps us become a more better individuals. So that in essence is mindfulness meditation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mariela, for your presentation. Cassie, are you still there with us? I think you are muted. Right. Cassie, you are muted now. Uh,
Yeah, Sir Charles. I know that we can go until 11:45. Isn't that so?
no, it's up to you, as I said. So I'm just,
Yeah,
Maria just
yeah, yeah,
wrapped the
yeah,
session. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Mariela has some questions to answer. You know, because we want to be we want to be practical. Yeah. So, for instance, let me give you a little hint, Maria. For instance, um, I know that you have a how to say a closeness then to Thich Nhat Hanh, right? A deceased, very high important master of the Dharma, that is the teachings, of Buddha. And one of the things he has spoken about, he has written about in various places and spoken about in various Dharma talks and so on, is a very mundane thing called washing the wares. You must have heard about that, haven't you? Haven't you, Mariella?
Yes, I have.
Right. Tell us something about mindfulness where that is concerned.
Mindfulness as it is in daily life, as in washing wares, washing clothes.
Hmm. Let's take
Well,
the
that's
washing wares. Let's take the washing wares. We don't want to broaden it. We want to be, as you say, it's a kind of a zooming in. You want to be here, present, now. So we are washing wares. What's happening there in regard to mindfulness? You don't want to go all over the place with
well
clothes and washing
the
it and
the important thing is, first of all, I think, intention, being being aware that, first of all, before you actually wash the wares, being aware that if I have a tidy home, that it helps me be more organized, it helps my family. And of course, you want to also look at the hygiene side of it as well as making the place look decent. You don't have a whole sink of dirty wares or whatever, however you clean your dishes, dishwasher, etc. So, to me, first of all, intention you're looking at. Okay, so my intention is, first of all, to clean my home, to clean my kitchen. And with that intention, I want to be able to approach washing wares as something that is good for me and good for my family. So when I get into the act now of washing the wares, I'm also mindful that I must have a clean bowl of dishwashing liquid available to me, and a clean sponge. And these are simple, mundane, but practical steps as to how we go about washing our ways. We take it for granted. You're rushing about doing so many things that you just clean the dishes, you put them there, and you go about your business. But staying mindful is being appreciative of every step of washing those dishes, rinsing them, drying them, putting it away, because you want to have a clean home and a healthy and happy family. And I think that that is the whole process of mindfulness. And if we were to take that approach for every single thing that we do, we would stay in that present moment. Maybe not 100%, because we know what life gives. There's so many agendas as we rush about our day. But as far as possible, we want to be always being considerate of what we are doing right now.
right. So let
So
me
I
just,
hope that answers you.
in part, because I want to zoom in again on washing wares. I don't want us to stray from that. Because I want you to take us on that journey of mindfulness while we are washing the wares. What is actually happening there while we are washing the wares? Remember, Thich Nhat Hanh has emphasized that, that's one of his emphases. I was reading Ringo Tulku this morning, a little while ago, and he was emphasizing in terms of meditation, where we are, we are we are, how to say, zooming in on the now, right? The now is in bold type, you know, high black then, emphasize now. In terms of now and the washing away, why I'm sticking to that is because I think that it teaches so much and that our listeners can learn so much from a simple act, the simple act of washing wheels. Now let me tell you, all right, so maybe I should tell you where I'm going with it, and maybe you can pick it up from there, or you can use something else as another example. But while washing the wares, I would like to think that I am aware of what these wares are. There would be a knife, there would be a fork, there would be a spoon, a plate, um, glass, drinking glass, that have been used, let us say, at a lunchtime period. And sat around the table with friends eating, and now it's my turn to wash the wheels, and I go to wash these wheels. Am I going to be um, dilly dally about how nice the dinner was? Should that be form part of my awareness? Am I going to be dilly dallying about let's get this over quickly so that I can run back and join my friends there who we have abandoned them for, we haven't gone home or anything, but I simply want to get the wares washed. There are other people there who have other things to do. It might be a community, and my job then is to wash the wares. So I am now in front of these things over a sink, and here I am. My hands are on the knife. My hands are soaping. My hands are moving towards the rinsing and so on. Or one may have different methods of approach, but nevertheless, what we are dealing with here is the mindfulness of it. So that wherever we are in the process of washing wares, our mind is also there. I remember being in a school where what they used to teach us, it wasn't called mindfulness then at all. This was quite some time ago. And what they used to teach us is to allow the attention to where the surfaces meet. In other words, let's use the plate, allowing the attention to meet to to be where the surfaces meet. What are the surfaces? The surfaces are my hands and the plate. So my attention is right there, where the hands and the plate meet. So that is mindfulness at, how to say that, if I could say it in this kind of bold way, at its highest depth. Thich Nhat Hanh, in his explanation, in his showing of it, as something, as an area where we can practice mindfulness, speak to that attention also, because this is where we are going to really begin to learn, to attend to what is in front of us and not stray into various paths. So he has used mindfulness as a prime example then of how mindfulness, how we can train ourselves to be mindful. So after having read him, having practiced with spoons and knives and forks and plates and so on in the sink, remember we are practicing it, we are training. And what were we training to do? To keep our minds on these items while we are there over the sink washing wares. And what does that do? I am telling you from my own experience, because under one of our teachers, a teacher called Rinchen, he used to sometimes take me to task for that very same washing away thing, you know. Because he used to sit and observe me while I'm doing that, sometimes in the morning after meditation and so on, and make his comments, with regard to that. So I probably have a bias towards the washing of wares. But you are going on now to the washing of clothes, keeping the house clean, and that sort of thing where mindfulness is concerned. Are there other areas? My question to you now is: are there other areas that you would recommend that we can use then to practice mindfulness to the extent that I have tried to describe it?
Okay, I think I liked first of all, Cassie, how you were able to explore that activity of washing wares in great detail, because
Yes,
I think it's
yes,
important, for
as you
people to
suggest.
understand.
Yes,
Other areas I would say would be
washing the
being
clothes.
mindful when we are in presence of other people, our friends, our family, of our speech. I think that is something that we can pay attention to
Mhm,
as individuals, being mindful of our speech, what is coming out from us.
mhm.
Of course, we know that in conversation we are all being spontaneous. We try to be as spontaneous as possible, especially around family and friends. You're in the moment, you're enjoying your company and whatnot.
Right.
But there comes a time sometimes when we have to be mindful of what we are saying, especially about other folks, being mindful of um, being sensitive enough to other people's feelings.
Mhm.
So I think that is another area that we can pay attention to as individuals, being mindful of our speech,
How would you suggest
especially when we are in the presence of others.
would you suggest that we train to be mindful of our speech? What do we do? How would you train to be mindful of your speech?
So I would hit it right back at you, Cassie, the same way you explained. I guess you have the ability to be as detailed as possible. So I am going to send it back to you to give me examples of
All right.
how we can approach this.
Well, I would hint it to you because I know that you know. Um, um, so let me hint it with a question. Do you think that listening helps? Do you? Let me
Of
stop
course,
there.
listening.
All right. Tell me how. How does listening help us to be mindful of our speech?
Okay, can you repeat that, Cassie? I'm not hearing. I didn't hear it properly.
No problem. How can listening help us to be mindful of our speech? Listening. In what way can we use listening to be mindful of our speech? Or can
Well, I guess paying attention to what a person is saying. That would be an obvious way of being mindful, so that when we listen to what a person is saying, we are able to know how to respond.
what is the usual thing that happens? The unmindful thing that takes place where speech is concerned. What is not mindful in our normal day-to-day living where speech is concerned? You heard the question.
I didn't hear all of it.
What is not mindful? What is unmindful in training ourselves to be mindful in our speech? What is not mindful? You touched on
Well,
it.
I guess not paying attention to what someone is saying. would be
Right,
the essence of it.
right. That would be the essence of it. Yeah, and well, maybe you could. I don't know if you can, but you can take it further. Maybe you can take it further.
No, I'm gonna leave that with you, Cassie.
Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. Okay. Well, let me see. All right. It's only level 46. So Charles and Mariella. So that I think we will leave it there for today. Mindfulness has been covered to a large extent by our sister here, Mariella, and we are thankful for what we have learned this morning, and we look forward to hearing from her again in the future. So Charles, we are bowing out.
Okay, Cassie, thank you very much. And of course, Mariella, thank you very much for being on the platform with us today, right?
You
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease.
There's no Christmas like Christmas on New Era TT Radio.
Oh, how I wish I were a child again, where poinsettias keep reminding you.
Christmas is family.
A Christmas gift of love. It's the kind of gift a man enjoys.
Christmas is love.
Have a Merry Christmas, my dear, and have a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas from all of us here at New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Merry Christmas, everybody!